So for this example, we're going to be representing a passenger ferry route. And we have this illustration here of these islands. And it says the graphic shows the layout of a series of islands accessed by passenger ferries. Represent the ferry routes by a graph. So we're going to do that now. When drawing a graph, you don't necessarily have to mimic or copy the map or the layout. Though it helps, it certainly is a good guide. You don't have to mimic it. The key to drawing a correct graph is to make sure that every point of interest is represented by a vertex and that the edges represent the relationship between the vertices. So what do we want to do? Well, we have these islands here, and we want to see if there's ferries that go from one island to the next. That's the relationship. So what we could do, I'm going to do right here, I'm just going to put a point right here on each one of these islands. And as we can see, there is a ferry that goes from Able Cay to Bay Island here. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that relationship with an edge. Able Cay also has a ferry, as you can see it right here, that goes to Coal Key. And there's also a ferry that goes from Able Cay to Dietrich Island. So I represent that with an edge. Then I'll do that for each island. As we can see for Bay Island, there is a ferry that goes up to Coal Key, so I'll represent that with an edge. There's also one that goes up to Dietrich Island here. And then we can see that there is a ferry that does connect Dietrich Island to Coal Key. So now just to represent that with a graph over here, I'm just going to repeat that. If I make this Dietrich Island here, Coal Key here, here is Able Cay, and then Bay Island. And this is pretty much what it looks like. And this is a graph that properly represents the relationship between the points of interest, which is the islands, and the ferry routes. Now, it doesn't have to look like this. It seems very straightforward and plain, and we just use the map here to go ahead and guide us, but it doesn't have to look like this. We could also make it look like this. And I like to keep my graphs very geometric. I'll put Able Cay here, Bay Island, Coal Key, and Dietrich Island. So if I start with this vertex here, that's Able Cay. We can see Able Cay is connected to Bay Island. So I'll use an edge right there. Here it is here. Able Cay is also connected to Coal Key. It's also connected to Dietrich Island. Bay Island obviously is connected to Able Cay. It's also connected right here to Coal Key. And it's also connected to Dietrich Island. We do the same for Coal Key. I'm just kind of going around to each vertex. Coal Key is connected to Dietrich. Dietrich to Bay, to Able, to Coal. So I think we have it. So you can see this graph looks dramatically different than this one up here, but it tells the same relationship between the points of interest and their edges there. Now notice here there is not a vertex here because there is no point of interest here. These are just edges that happen to pass over each other. But there we go.